Hi Libra, welcome to your extended. All right, let's get into it, huh? So, I'm gonna put them here and let's go through them one by one. So, what role do you choose and which way does the scale tip? It depends on what your end goal is. If what you want is to be that self-sacrificing, watery energy that, by the way, is not your natural state, then go ahead and choose that. That's fine. If what you'd like is to come more into your own Libra energy, very airy, very dominant, then here you are, and choose that. Neither one means that you won't be happy. It's not like you can choose a right or a wrong one. It just depends on how much you're willing to endure in the meantime. So, regardless of the choice you make, what's set up to come into your field is the same. Here it is. What is this? It's a relationship you can trust. It's a stability that you don't have to constantly question. But it has everything to do with how you feel about you. That's where the choice really is. The choice of being the long-suffering spouse or significant other, parent, friend, may take a lot more from you than you realize. Conversely, the choice to leave it and do what you want instead of fixing other people's problems may leave you a bit lonely in the meantime as well. But how does it make you feel about you? One of those choices will make you feel incredible, and the other probably will make you feel guilty. Now it becomes a game of discerning which side of the scale do you slide to. Whichever way it is, it goes fast. It goes fast because there are people around you who really want you to make a decision, especially if this is a parent, a boss, a dominating partner perhaps. They really, really want to pressure you into something. And the thing is, if you give in to that pressure, it's going to cause a lot more arguments than you can handle. It's going to cause a lot more pain than you're used to. It's not your way to do it like this. So don't let somebody push you into this. If the person you're actually having to make the decision about is a fire sign, a dominant one at that, they may be pressing all the buttons they can specifically so that you will get into this Five of Wands energy that you don't know how to handle. They have a wand. They're good at this. They're used to it. It's part of their nature. You don't. And you're not good at it. And it's not a part of your nature. Yeah, you can swing a sword if you need to. But that's very different than being naturally combative. We know you're not naturally combative. But everyone has their limit, and when pushed to it, will say the things that need to be said. So here we are, and here you are, and this is what you need to say. Probably more than anyone else needing to hear it, you just need to say it. And you need to say it either because you're pushed to it by this energy there, or because the scale is just violently, seesawing back and forth. Whatever it is that brings you to this point of making a decision, it happens sometime in May. And then there is the consequence of dealing with that decision. There's so much, Libra, that you just don't know. There's so much that you are going to wish you didn't know. So much that is hidden now that will inform your decision of whether to stay or go. So that's why I'm saying when someone pushes you to make the decision, don't make it then. Make it when you're ready. Once you get all the info, you'll be ready. And I suspect that most of you, when you know all the facts, will want very much to leave for your own sanity. And perhaps there's a financial element to it as well. If you were, for example, to find out that the person that you have had some sort of dealing with was financially, dipping into your communal resources to help somebody else, and perhaps lying to you about how much they were making or not making, or simply their money has been going other places. That might be the last straw. That might be enough. And once that happens, you are able to, perhaps for the first time in a long time, focus on yourself. And I know that gets tired, and who's not tired of hearing that they should focus on themselves? But if you don't focus on yourself, how do you expect anybody else to see you? I think that's how we got in this mess in the first place, was not focusing on the self. You have had for a long time now these great plans to leave, planning from within the home, plans to leave, plans to change, plans to confront, plans to make your life better, happier, more livable. But up until now, they've just been plans, right? They've just been like dreams. They've just been dreams. They've just been wishes. It's like you needed something to kickstart you and put you into gear. Something that takes you from making the plans to needing to implement them. Something that finally makes you go, okay, yeah, that's too much. You've taken way too much. I can't really abide you taking any more than that. It really is enough. It has to be over. So, it takes you out of your comfort zone, is what I'm trying to say. And it puts you in direct opposition with a part of your nature that you maybe don't talk about a lot. The reason you seem so indecisive is because you're extremely stubborn and you stick to certain things regardless of what happens. Sometimes those pentacles are people, and you can't help but hold on to them no matter what. They signify something for you, status perhaps, but you just can't let them go. That is what has been keeping you where you were stuck, even when you knew that it wasn't right anymore. That is what's kept you satisfied with crumbs, satisfied with charity giving. It's a good question to ask. Do you feel comfortable being the one receiving crumbs? And do you feel comfortable being the one giving the crumbs? Because I think ultimately what Libra wants is an even relationship, right? What Libra wants is to feel like themselves again, to feel powerful, to feel dynamic, to have their own mind, to feel equal. That's a big one, that last one, to feel equal. And especially if you've been dealing with this earth sign, it has not been equal. It has been a mess of lying, perhaps infidelity, perhaps theft, all the things that would make someone deeply untrustworthy. And to be able to tolerate it, I think you've had to diminish yourself quite some. Now, this other role you could choose to play of being the mother, being the magnanimous, watery energy, that will require its own set of sacrifices. For one, your mental rest. It's very hard to rest in an energy that is not authentically yours, even if you feel like that's a role you need to play. Taurus season really, really wants you to choose yourself. It wants you to communicate from an authentic place instead of doing what's best for everyone else. It wants you to say it directly how it is. The funny thing is, by the time we get to Leo season, no one's going to be able to hold you back, even if you don't make the decision now, except if you make the decision now, because you already know what you want to do. Then by Leo season, you could be happy again. But if you'd rather vacillate, if you'd rather not make up your mind and stay in this purgatory-like state instead, of course, that's your right. It's very, very difficult for anyone to come and meet you in that state, though. It's very difficult for anyone to see you in that state because you're hidden. You're hidden by your own halo. You're hidden by your own stagnation. You're hidden by the energy that you're putting in the universe that you are not ready to think of yourself. And as soon as you decide that this is not something you want to do anymore, what should really be yours starts to show up. And you, in turn, take a step out of the castle onto the cliff. And this time you've got another wand. Now it's not just dreams and plans. Now it's a reality. You're taking the first step here. Those new seeds you plant will flower, God willing. And they will flower in the most beautiful way for you to give you the things that you really, really want. So take that risk and plant those new seeds. And when you do that, you will also feel within yourself, having made this difficult decision, that you are changing, that you are getting better, that you are different now. If you're dealing with a Scorpio specifically, they may be on their way back in, as is this Leo. And why, you may ask, why do they want to come back? Well, you are astrologically in a time where your exes will try you, just to see if maybe you will come back, just to see if perhaps you can be swayed again. You see what I mean about manipulating you? It's when someone knows your nature that it becomes so easy to manipulate you. Even in the exes coming back, even in being able to see how people manipulate your scales. There is a huge opportunity. Don't react. Don't react. Just let them do what they're doing. Just sit back and watch them. See what you see. See how they treat you. See what bait they put out there for you. And I think you'll be very surprised. And I think the Tower moment that comes from those realizations after you sit back and just watch people try, that's the real Tower moment. That's the one where everybody will have to get to know the new you. There is a new you emerging. It's a you that's based very much on knowing your own worth and value, which up until now perhaps has been lost to you, just from the way that you've been treated. If you're dealing specifically with the Gemini, you feel very valuable to them. They are very protective of you, even when they are not protective of themselves. They are very sure of you, even when they are not sure of themselves. You feel like together as a partnership, you both win. You feel like that person is quite capable and has a genius mind, and you have a lot of respect for them. You feel very, very content. Like you have almost everything you need. But that's good, because if a Libra had everything they need, they wouldn't want anything. It's like a shark that would stop swimming. Your life with this person is going very well. It's stable. It's sure. And there's a lot of love there. And they're constantly, reinforcing that love with small things to show you that that connection is real. Now, instead, if you're dealing with an Aries, and this person might be a bit egotistical, if you're dealing with an Aries or a Sag, they are also aware that you are very valuable, very powerful. And yet their reaction to that is not one of supporting you, but instead it's almost like they're sad about it, like they wish you weren't like that. It makes them want to throw you into an insecure place by treating you like an option, because then you lose so much power. Losing that power, you drop down from that King of Swords to the Queen down to the Page. And it has everything to do with causing you pain, causing you heartache, making you feel alone. It seems like every time you pick your head up and are strong, these people are there to put you down on purpose, especially this Capricorn. And you can't help but think about it. You can't help but ruminate on it. You can't help but be sad about it. Because why? Why would you do that? I gave you these cups. What did you do with them? You may also feel the same way about a Virgo that you gave a lot to, and now you're just, you don't want to hear it, and you don't want to give anymore, and you're angry. You're very angry. And that Virgo has some sort of an addictive quality that you just can't stand, and it's consuming their life and they can't see it. So even though you guys would be perfect together, they just can't seem to follow through. It's like their wins and their victories are way more important to them than your collective. Like they almost used you as a stepping stone. But it's okay. Because it's not really, it's not up to anyone. It's not up to anyone. Your wishes and your dreams come true because you believe in them and you believe that you deserve them. Finally, I think it's about opening your eyes to the wealth and worth in yourself, but also in diminishing the wealth and worth of those around you that aren't what they say they are. And therefore just aren't truthful or worth being with. Okay? Good. I love you, Libra. I'll see you next month.